Sokeo Ros. The name itself is a really big part of me. Sokeo is a place I was born, refugee camp called Sokeo, so they named me after that. Vuti was a name given to me by a monk because I was really sick. I was not supposed to survive. I'm the first survivor of 6 kids before me that I'd never met that passed away, lack of, food, starvation, lack of medication, disease, so on and so forth, genocide, war. So Vuti was given to me by a monk. They gave me the blessings and stuff, and they, quote unquote, changed my name to Vuti. So America knows me as Sokeo. My parents and close friends knows me as Vuti growing up. My last name is Ros with 1 S. In Cambodian, it's pronounced Ro, which translated loosely, it means to live, to be alive, and to survive, which is why I have it tatted on my back. It's a big part of who I am, especially because of the trials and tribulations and lived experience that I've gone through. So that's one, right? And then coming from the Khmer Rouge, I'm a child of genocide, refugee camp, and then from California for one night. We had to get sponsored to come here, and then going to Iowa for a few years, completely different, right? And then you go to Rhode Island. And then we were displaced in, again, a historically marginalized neighborhood, trauma, excluded. It was a gang neighborhood. Like literally, the 3-family house we lived in, first floor were just, gang members. And they were great to us, friends of us, but there were a lot of drive-bys. Lemonade trucks sold drugs. And if it wasn't for dance, hip hop, and the arts, I'd be dead or in jail. That was the only thing that kept me going. School did not, unfortunately. It wasn't tailored to who I was. It wasn't equitable to my lived experiences. It did not promote me in a way where it brought me into the light, or folks like me, students like me, into the light, where, hey, we can help you get through this. It didn't. Dance and the arts and the community did that, outside of education. So that's where it led to. Education was not a big part of me at all. I became an artist full-fledged at the age of 18, taking on so many different jobs, but I've traveled because of the arts in Everett and so on and so forth. I've traveled from like here, New York, all the way to San Francisco, all the in-states in between. Didn't graduate high school. And I had to go to summer school. There was 3 choices. You can either repeat the year, drop out, get your GED, or go to summer school, because I was afraid my parents went to summer school. Got kicked out of colleges. I went to college again later on in life. Again, academia was not a part of me. My education came from the community, came from traveling, came from the arts, right? So that was a big, big thing. Healing, mental health, and therapy, and how that can coincide with what you're doing on a day-to-day basis based on your creativity, your movement language, and what you do to heal that you don't know that you're actually healing. Cooking, cleaning, making food, sports, music, TV, reading, all of these things are creative processes that we do internally that we don't know that can be a healing mechanism for us. And that was what the arts did for me. So I didn't receive my bachelor's degree until 2014, 34 years old, right? College Unbound, I graduated from. I consider myself to have 2 bachelors because it's a joint school, which is now its own accredited school. So it's College Unbound that was chartered, it was partnered with Charter Oak State College. I actually have 2 degrees sitting in my house right now from College Unbound, Charter Oak State College. The journey was what was important for me in academia in that sense. Now I found a college that was like, hey, so we know who you are. We appreciate who you are. We value who you are and what you bring to us. We're gonna make academia fit you. And that's how it worked. That's how I graduated with College Unbound. And that was the first time that my family took a family portrait together. They all watched me walk across the stage. I never got a chance to do that. Like I said before, didn't graduate high school, right? So, but that was a beautiful moment because it brought the family together in a sense where we're gonna celebrate someone. And that's what academia is. We should celebrate our learnings, our educations, our processes, our lived experience, our differences together, right? In a way that we can really value who we are and not take away from the authenticity of the true self. Fast forward again to PC. I was going for my master's, and I was talking about with Adam Bush from College Unbound, liaison there and helping me out. I looked at 4 different universities. None of them had, because I was researching myself, had the programs I wanted. It didn't have the initiatives, the courses. There were some things here and there. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then that was it. I'm like, nah, I'm not spending all this money to just be like, that's cool. And then Adam goes, hey, what about Providence College? I'm like, that's cool. Nah, not at all. Not at all. So he was like, no. I got some friends out there, you know, some acquaintances and some great folks there at PC. I'm like, all right, let me just let me see what this is about. It's like 8:30 at night in the office, right there at the public street Met High School. And he goes, well, this is what they're offering, right? This is the urban teaching program, so on and so forth. And I read through all of it for the master's in education. And I'm like, yo, I've been doing this kind of work my whole life with arts and trauma, with equity in schools, with historically marginalized, displaced, excluded, traumatized neighborhoods and how we can educate each other. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, this is the one. This is the one. Here's how it became full circle. I met the previous director, Sean, of Moore Hall, way before I even applied. And she was here. And then, luckily enough, the graduate assistantship was at Moore Hall. And I'm like, what? So as I got here, you know, I met so many amazing folks from departments like Global Studies, a few ones from Black Studies, and then IDEI, and then of course Moore Hall. All of them were, I guess, didn't live up to the negative narrative that I heard about PC in that way, because they all welcomed me in. They invited me in as who I was and who I am. And it felt great to be appreciated and valued in that way. And then academia became a really big part of my life. I fell in love with Moore Hall, mainly because of the students. And many of the students, you know, Black and brown folks, Latinx folks, BIPOC, I gotten to know them, and many of them come from the same neighborhoods that I'm from, or, you know, close enough, right? Because I don't believe in the rhetoric of, if I can do it, you can do it. There are similarities, yes, absolutely. But your lived experience, I don't want to diminish it by saying your story is mine, because it's not. But we share certain things. And we shared moments with students, and they made it the life for me. And that's how it led to so many different initiatives and programs that I've been a part of and also are developing now. That's what led me to PC. Nothing against everybody else, but the students at PC, especially the 18% or so that are underrepresented here at PC.